Hey everyone, I'm so glad that you came back for the third video. It was looking a little sketchy there. So I am impressed that you came back. We're going to learn how to bind signatures or little booklets into your book. This is the first signature that I did, and I actually sewed this one on my sewing machine. I slipped the papers into the sewing machine all stacked up like that, and I ran it through. You can see the stitches are, well, I kind of made it wrongly. I made it wrongly. The stitches should probably be a little bit further apart than they are so that it doesn't become like perforated paper and easy to tear out. But now I'm taking my handy dandy hole puncher. I think it's called an awl. It's got a sharp point on it, and we're just eyeballing this. We're going to poke 3 holes where we're going to bind the edge to the spine of our book. So I'm just poking that through. You can be super anal and you can measure and make sure it's all right, but I just eyeball it. 1 in the center and then 1 about an inch and a half in from the edge. Take into consideration that since you've got different size papers in your signature, you want them all to kind of be caught by the strings, so don't put them too far towards the edge. So I'm kind of showing you the spine where I'm planning on putting it. And now I am putting my awl in the center hole of my little signature and lining it up where I want it on the spine of my book. So take into account how many signatures you want to bind into your book. If it's just 1, then you probably want it centered along the spine. I'm going to put in 2. So I don't want it completely centered. I want it sort of, evenly spaced to one side. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. And then you get out your muscles of fury and you punch a hole in that thing. Don't you love the manicure that I did to shoot this video? No, I did not. My nails look like they were chewed on by a rabid dog. Oh. All right, so I am drilling those holes through the binding of the book. Just using my signature that I already marked the holes as kind of a template. And I'm making sure that I get all the way through that binding and sort of widen out the holes a little bit because you're going to be sticking thread or string through them. So it depends on what you want to use. There is this kind of string. It's not twine. Is it twine? Oh, I don't know these things. And then there's like floss. That is embroidery thread, or not embroidery thread, upholstery thread, so it's really strong. So you can use any kind of thing like that. I decided to use this kind of off-white string because I just thought it looked sort of vintagey. Cut, a yay long piece, maybe like 18 inches or something. String it through your old needle. You probably want a pretty big, like blunt tip needle. And then you want to go through the middle of your signature towards the outside, pull it all the way through both those holes, and leave a little tail inside the book. And then you're going to go back through your bottom or the top hole. There's so many awful, awful jokes going through my mind right now. It doesn't matter which hole on this one, but I chose the bottom one. So, oh God, get your mind out of the stupid gutter, Josie Grossy. So I came back, I went out through the middle towards the outside of the spine through the center hole, and then I came back towards the center through the bottom hole. Did that make sense? Just watch what I'm doing, don't listen to my words. And as you can see, I am having trouble pulling it through. It's a tight fit. It's because this is thicker string than thin string would be. Way to go. And then you want to come from back from the top or the bottom, whichever you choose to go through first, and go back out again through the center. Oh, I am struggling hard here.
The wheels on the struggle bus go round and round, round and round, round and round.
Okay. Oh, did I finally get it? Yep. Pull it tight. Pull it taut. So you can kind of pull on both sides, your string in the middle and your string on the outside, and just tighten that up. You don't want it to be loose. And then you go back towards the center through your remaining empty hole, the top hole. And pull it through and struggle. And then pull that string through. I probably made my tail a little longer than it needed to be, so you don't have to do that, but so I'm pulling it through, pulling it tight, and that's what it looks like from the back of the spine. Looks pretty cool, huh? Super vintagey. Now, I forgot a step in this one that you'll see that I take in the next signature, but basically you just take your two ends and you tie a knot. You want to kind of keep that knot in the center and keep it right and keep it tight, because you don't want your signatures to be flopping around. So I'm trying to tighten it up, and then tying another one, and then I'm going back with the other piece of string over the other way. That's called some sort of knot or something that's not supposed to come untied, I guess. I don't know, you guys, Google it. And then I like to keep my little strings long just because I think it's another layer of interest. See, you can see how it's kind of off center sewed on the spine because I made room to center the other signature on the other side. And this is the second signature. Now this one I did as an example, and I did not sew it on my sewing machine because if you're super precious about your sewing machine, you might not want to put paper through it. But I'm an animal and I don't care. The binder clips on either side hold your papers together so that they're not all squidgely moving around. Squidgely is a verb or an adjective. Squidgely. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. So they're not moving around while you're trying to poke holes. So you take your little hole poker and you poke your 3 holes. And then you position it on the other part of the spine on the other side where you want it. So you kind of line it up with your other booklet, and oh, there we go, drill it, get after it. Okay, now I'm following my punched holes already as a template to go in my spine, and there, oh, I showed you very quickly the 3 holes. I am threading my needle again. I'm going through the center of my signature out towards the back and leaving my tail. We're doing the same thing in this second one as we did in the first one. I chose the bottom hole again. I have something for that bottom hole, I guess. Ugh. Pull it out. All right. Now I'm pulling it tight, pulling both sides. It tightens it up on that back. And then I'm going to go back out the center again. And then you can see I'm pulling from both sides to tighten it up. And now I'm going to go back through the top hole, my only one that has not been penetrated yet. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to. I couldn't. I'm sorry. All right. So that's what it looks like. And now this one, you're going to see the step that I didn't do in the last one. I take the needle and slide it underneath the top part of the other little binding thing, and it just holds it there in place so that it's easier to tie your knot, so it doesn't loosen up on you. Get it tight, and then clip your ends, and you can clip them closer, but like I said, I like to have the little danglies. Take off your clips, and there's the two signatures centered on the spine. I'm doing the little flip through here so you can see all the pages that we chose and how it just adds some fun, interest in there. So you can see where you could pick whatever you want. And I like leaving raw edges. You could put fabric scraps in there. That looks super cool. You can see that was the end of the first signature, so you can see the spine there in the middle. Now you may think there was plenty of room on that spine, why didn't you put in 3 signatures? Well, you want to give yourself room to beef this thing up. When it's done, it's going to be fluffy and chunky.
And we like it thick around here. We like our girls thick.
So you have to give it room to grow. All right? Thank you so much for learning how to make a book with me. Please subscribe.